Hey guys, Katie here, and today I am wrapping up the month of May. I had a pretty decent reading month, and I am really excited about a lot of the stuff that I read, and also I feel like I kind of explored a few new things that I haven't really looked into before, so all in all, I'm very happy with the month of May in terms of reading. The first book I read in the month of May was A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I went into this not knowing what to expect because I actually kind of had a negative perspective on V.E. Schwab's work. I thought for some reason that a lot of people didn't like it, but I guess I was wrong, which is funny. I actually enjoyed the book. I think it's a lot of fun. I felt like it was pretty much your standard fantasy story, but I definitely think that some of the things that V.E. Schwab put into this world were really unique and interesting, and I loved the idea of moving between worlds, and the fact that there's a city named London in the same place in the middle of these worlds converging. I think that's a really cool idea. If you haven't heard of A Darker Shade of Magic, it's going to be a series of books, and this is the first one. It is about a man named Kel who has the ability to travel between worlds and also do magic. And he's kind of a magical smuggler, and he smuggles things between the different worlds when he's not supposed to, which eventually leads him to his big adventure, which is quite exciting. I definitely think the book is, especially towards the end, hard to put down, and I also really liked Lila. I thought she was wonderful. About the time that I finished A Darker Shade of Magic, I realized that I was 8 books behind on my Goodreads reading challenge. I challenged myself to read 52 books this year, so technically 1 book a week. I haven't read that much. I had some recommendations for graphic novels and things like that, and eventually I finally picked up the first 2 volumes of Scott Pilgrim, and I read these both really quickly, and I was kind of astounded how close they are to the movie, or how close the movie is to the actual comics, to the point where I almost felt like the movie was in my head as I was reading it, which was actually fine with me. I love that movie. Something that I think is really interesting about the series is that Scott is a total jerk and an idiot, and definitely not the best character, but everybody recognizes it and calls him out on it, so I really appreciate that because he's kind of, to be honest, an asshole. The art in these books is in black and white, and I really enjoyed it. One thing I noticed that was really cool is at one point in one of these books, they cook shepherd's pie, vegan shepherd's pie, and it was really cool how they kind of went through the steps of making shepherd's pie, and I'm pretty sure that if you followed their ingredients and their instructions, you could make some pretty good vegan shepherd's pie. I was lucky enough to win this comic from my friend John Hill's podcast called Palcast, which I've talked about on here. I was super excited. I flipped out, and I read it as soon as he dropped it off. And now I want to read all of the Leia comics. So that's cool if you like Star Wars. Personally, I'm currently obsessed with Star Wars, and I've been watching the series, the movies, all the way through. I've done it all the way through once except for episode 3, and then now we're watching The Clone Wars, the TV show, which is fantastic. I really love it. So I am looking forward to more Leia comics and maybe kind of getting into comics in general. I don't know. I'm definitely intrigued, and I like what Marvel's up to. This next book I feel like I've talked about more than enough, but I'll just say a few quick words about it. It is Born with Teeth by Kate Mulgrew. She's kind of an idol of mine, and I really enjoyed her book. I wasn't sure of it at first, but once I got into it, I liked it. You can check out my review if you're interested in this book, and I definitely recommend it. It's kind of an interesting memoir, a lot about her theater years. So check out my review. The link will be below. Yeah, Kate Mulgrew is awesome. The last book I finished this month was Tales of the City by Armistead, and this was a really interesting book. It's basically about a girl named Marianne who goes to San Francisco just to visit and decides to stay, much to the disappointment of her parents in Ohio. And then she kind of falls into this group of people living in a house, and it's really about all the people who live in the house and how their friends and acquaintances kind of mingle, and it's hard to put down because everything ties in together, and that's really interesting. It's also very heavy on dialogue. I think that the conversations between people are really what make the story, so I think that's why this book goes really fast. There are a lot of mysteries in here, and Some of them don't even get resolved in this book. So I do think that I will be continuing this series out of like sheer curiosity because I want to know what's going on. If you like San Francisco, or I guess if you're interested in like the 70s as a decade, check it out. Anyway, that's everything I read in the month of May. It was definitely a busy reading month for me, and surprisingly I got a lot done. So anyway, let me know what you read this month, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.